Welcome back to Exploring DC, where we take a piece of DC and explore it with you. I'm your host, Luis. Even though it says Josh in the corner, just ignore that. And today with me, two of our co-hosts are missing, but I got the great Jalen with me. How you doing, Jalen?
Doing good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's weird. This is the first two-person episode since you and Josh did Steel, which
Yeah, man,
was
and that was like 6 months ago, roughly.
that was like early podcast. I wasn't a part of the podcast back when that happened.
No, dog, that was like a year ago, I think.
It was
That
like
was like March.
first ten episodes, I think.
Whoa, what in the
Hmm.
hell? Okay. Well, then, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that, you know, I'm not happy to see they're not here, obviously, but I am
Well,
happy
Jackson,
that Jackson is an exception. Who else is an exception? But I am happy that we're at a point too, to where now we do have, since we have four members, you
Mhm.
know, it does leave us more room to be able to get in these two-person episodes if need be, just in case Jack and Louis, Jack and you, or Jack and Josh, or
Yes.
me and whoever else needs to miss it.
No, that
I'm
that's truly that's the beauty. People are sometimes scared of a lot of hosts, and yeah, it can sometimes be a pain, especially when we need to like schedule something. But the opposite, like you said, it's if one of us can't be here, there's three. If two can't be here, there's still two more people. Right? We're not leaving somebody unknown. But today, we're gonna do a couple catch ups, do a couple of poll things. But before that, I want to introduce today we are covering Batman Mask of the Phantasm. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, a couple of weeks ago, we did Batman the Animated Series Season 1. Truly incredible show. That first
Mhm.
season, revolutionary. I don't think I have to explain how important Batman the Animated Series is to DC at all. Everybody knows. This was my first time viewing. I know, Jalen, you've seen it before. How long ago did you watch this?
So I believe I told this story earlier on in the podcast, or like remnants of this story, but um there was, when I was younger, I had this we had this family friend that would like auction off DVDs and like things of that nature. And they let me just go through, I think I was like 5, 6 roughly, and they let me go through and they let me have my pick of the litter essentially. And that was how I got introduced to Batman Beyond. I got Return, or the Batman Beyond movie, Return of the Joker. That was how I got introduced to that. This was actually my entrance into Batman the Animated Series. I actually watched this first before I watched On Leather
Mm,
Wings, or the first 5 episodes of Batman the Animated Series. And I know we're going to get into it later, but the great thing about it is when you watch it, it doesn't feel like you need to watch all 60 episodes of the first season to understand anything that is going on in this movie. I mean, as long as you know who Batman is, as long as you know who Alfred is, as long as you know that Gotham is gang
hmm.
ridden, you're good. And also as long as you know that like his parents died, which everyone and their mama knows at this fucking point, it is it's really the only knowledge you need, and it's so accessible. Even with me being 6 years old at the time, six or
Hmm.
5 or 6. I'm not gonna say six in the other number, but 5 and 6.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, so this is your first time watching it, right? Your first entrance into this
First time,
show.
yeah. I mean, I hadn't seen Batman the Animated Series either. I watched this for the first time for the podcast, and I'm now watching Master Phantasm for the first time. It's always been on my list. It's a thing of like my list is so long. There's just stuff I haven't gotten to. But I've always grown up with Batman. I love it. But before we get deeper into the film, Jalen, how's anything new happened? I know some stuff has happened to you. Also,
The
any hauls,
biggest the
anything?
biggest thing that has happened to me is I've gotten this ring. That is the biggest thing that has happened in the last week. I haven't
Wait, wait,
moved.
wait,
I haven't
wait.
done anything.
Why is it green?
I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that. This is wrong, right? It's supposed to be brown.
Yeah, the show's not green. That shouldn't be green.
Yeah. But somehow it looks better than
Return
the
it.
show. It looks better than the show, ironically enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, so our good buddy Jackson Wells got me this. He also got a Flash one, which he'll show next week. Um,
Yes.
but the really cool thing about his Flash one for our viewers out there, our people watching, is like you can open it, and like the
Mm-hmm.
it's just like a little outline of the Flash there before it goes out and shoots out and extends. But this shit's cool. Like it is probably my most prized possession now. So now I'm rocking two rings, everything. So that's for me. That's the whole part of what's happened for me in the last couple or the last week. But I have also moved. I'm in a new spot. I'm living with my best friend and his girlfriend, or one of my best friends and his girlfriend. Um, and yeah, man. So now we're back in the Queen City, and we'll be able to record some of the just in case Josh misses any more. We'll be able to record some of them in the exact same spot now because me, Luis, and Jackson are now in the exact same city. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it's good to have you back, bro. And I will disclose, we were supposed to shoot this one in person, all three of us, or at
Sure.
least plan to. And then, just small thing happened, tornado warning, nothing that big,
Not
Uh,
not too serious at all.
tornado literally touched down in Noda. So
Actually.
I think for a very little time, but yes. So, no biggie. We could have, if we really cared, we would have.
Hey
No,
man,
I'm just kidding.
if you feel it, chase it.
Yeah, I think actually, Jalen, I'm gonna tell you this story real quick. I felt like Glenn Powell today, so I was a dumbass. I drove to campus, even though I had a bad feeling about like the weather warning, but it was before
Yeah.
like any warnings came out. So I
Uh-huh.
I go to campus at 10, and I start hearing sirens all around campus, and the tornado warning comes out, but the weather was still fine. So in my head, I thought, oh, I'm just gonna drive back home. Because back home there's no weather. Like the weather's fine. There's just gonna be wind, but the weather's fine. As soon as I get on that highway, I swear to God, it felt like the tornado was about to form on me. Because the wind was
Oh
shaking my
shit.
car. I've never seen rain that strong. I could see the water on the street moving like side to side as I was
Oh
driving.
shit.
I will not disclose what speed I was going for legal reasons. Um, but the road was empty, so it's fine. Um, But yeah, bro. Like, I literally I saw a bunch of cars stopping under like the underpasses as I just kept passing and I was like, shit, I should have stopped there. Shit, I should have stopped there. Got home. Hey, I'm
Wow.
here. Oh,
Hey man, you're
close one.
alive. You're alive. So that's the great thing.
I'm
Yeah, no,
motherfucking
no.
Glenn Powell, man.
Yeah, hey man, if you feel it, if you feel it,
Chasing.
if you feel it. But yeah, I mean, I'm here, but goddamn.
So that's my life update. Other than that, I had spring break, did a bit of traveling, saw some friends. By traveling, I mean drive 2 hours. I didn't fly anywhere, but still got to see some old friends. Friends of both Jalen and me that I haven't seen in a long time. And yeah, just been a fun weekend. As for Hall, the reason I specified Hall was I looked at the amount of stuff I had to show because I missed last week, and I realized I should not be trusted with my money because I do not make enough to be able to be buying the amount of shit I'm about to show.
Hey man, bring it on. Bring it on.
But
Bring it on
hey,
with a price check too. With a
still
price
have
check too. Say I got this.
hey
This was
hey
this much.
still haven't graduated, so it's fine. Once I graduate, then I gotta stop doing this. But but
That's who. That's who. We
uh
could be irresponsible adults in the Big 26.
so here we go. So first off, I went to AM. Well, I know I was in Concord Mills, and I think I watched Scream 7. Sadly. And then, but the good that came out of it was I got the Superman popcorn tin that recreates the first comic book cover, which is so freaking cool. And I think it's all like comic book panels all around on the book part.
That is
It says Legends Forever on the
gorgeous.
back.
Oh my God, that is cool. So it
Yeah,
opens like a book, I'm guessing.
yeah.
Mm,
So
okay.
it's like that. It also came with a Superman lanyard that recreates like
That's
comic
what's
book
up.
covers. I don't know if you
Yeah,
can.
that's
There
cool.
you go. You can see that it replaces that one and then that one with the kryptonite going through his chest. Uh, I really love these. It was $25, like not that bad. Honestly, for what
Yeah,
popcorn
yeah,
buckets
that's not
go
bad at all.
now, I was expecting this to be 40 and I was not gonna grab it. But yeah, so I got that. I got so I'm a big fan of Lego, which I think I've talked about on here before. and I got
Mhm.
3 sets. Now, to be fair, one of them I actually didn't buy. One of them was a gift. The other two were me. This was my gift. It was the race car from F1, the movie. The Oscar
Oh,
nominated, Oscar winner,
Oscar winner.
F1. Oscar winner F1. Should have won Best Picture, got snubbed. I'm just kidding now. But I do have it. It's very cool. And then the two that actually relate to this podcast, I got the Ben Affleck Batmobile,
Gorgeous.
which
Honestly,
comes with,
hot take, the best Batmobile, the
I
best live
agree.
action Batmobile.
It's my favorite. And it also comes with armored Batman from
Oh
the fight with
yeah.
Superman. I do wish it came with a regular Ben Affleck suit because I do have like the original 2016 one of this, but it's still cool. I also wish it came with a second figure. Like this plus Superman from BVS would have been awesome. And then
Yeah.
the third one is the Robert Pattinson Batmobile.
Tough.
Also got this one. Now the cool
Tough.
thing is later in the year we're obviously going to cover Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight here on the podcast eventually. And both of these actually unlock stuff in game. I believe it's they unlock the Batmobiles and their golden variants too.
Wow. Okay.
That'd
Hey
be
man,
cool.
I might gotta stop by the Lego store and pick some up.
Oh, but they're great. And then two more things and I'm done. God damn, I really should not be trusted with my money. Um, I got so I love collecting physical media. I got into vinyl because of fucking Jackson Wells. I'm spending money on that too. But something that I only kind of collect from time to time is 4K Blu-rays. And I got Predator Badlands, which came out last year.
Hey. Uh-huh.
Absolutely love this movie. Probably my favorite Predator movie. It's tight. I don't know if it's this or the OG, but I really love this movie.
Mm.
And then I also got the 4K of F1, Oscar winner F1.
Oscar winner. Oscar winner.
Exactly. I love that I can say that now. If anybody asks, what Oscar-winning films do you have? I have Sinners and F1.
And
I'm glad that I can say that now. But I'm Rocky. I do have Rocky. But yeah, that's my haul. Way too much shit. Be smart with your money, kids. Actually, nah, fuck it, don't be. But
live
so
life.
back to the film that we're here to talk about. There is a film we're here to talk about, and that is Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, released in theaters 1993. It was directed by Eric Radomski and Bruce Timm. Obviously, I don't need to explain who Bruce Timm is. Bruce Timm is iconic in the DC animated sphere. But Eric Radomski, I found this interesting. The other stuff that I found that he directed that was like well known was of 3 episodes of Avengers Assemble, Disney XD show. 18 episodes of the 90s Spawn show, which that makes sense actually with the
Yeah,
tone
that makes a lot
of
of
the
sense.
Batman film. And then only 3 episodes of Batman the Animated Series. But
Were the were the three in season one, season two, or
only
just all across the board?
2 were in season 1, and 1 was in season 2. I'm
Interesting.
surprised he didn't direct more after. I'm not surprised he didn't direct more before the film. I'm surprised he didn't direct more episodes after the film. But so funny enough, he actually talked about one of them during the pod, even though we watched all of them. Almost Got Him. He actually directed Almost Got Him before he did Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Wow. And Almost God was one of the award nominated episodes, was it not?
Yeah, which is why I
Yeah,
think they
yeah.
chose him to do this. Now, I don't blame him for not doing more in those first 2 seasons. I am surprised he didn't come back later. Maybe in the new Batman Adventures he did. But so we'll talk a little bit more about the film. The film was originally intended as direct to video, but Warner Bros. Was very confident in the film, so they moved it to theatrical, which only gave them 8 months to make this movie, which is not a good amount of time at all, since most animated films take at least 2 years back then. Now Spider-Verse takes 7 years, so we don't even talk about that one. But they normally took around 2 years. They only had 8 months. Plus, they had already started animating, and they had to switch. everything they animated from the format of TV to widescreen for the theater. So they also needed to readapt the shots to that.
Oh wow.
In the 8 months. But the good thing is they upped their budget to 6 million, so they did give them more money to be able to make those changes. The film, even though from the start has been critically loved, it was actually a bomb back considered a bomb back in the day in the box office. It only made between 5.6 and 5.8 million on a budget of 6 million. So it actually did not
Jesus.
break even. So
Jesus.
it's so interesting back then, especially. But I get again, we also got to take into account, other than Disney, like I don't think this was even the Disney Renaissance. Maybe it was. Um, this adult animation in movie theaters was not yet a thing, really. Like it started to, like Akira, I think was happening around this time, and then
Mhm.
it's only grown as time has gone. So I'm actually not that surprised that happened. Inspirations from it, Batman Year One and Batman Year Two are two comics that are huge inspirations on this. Obviously, they still went their own route with their villain and stuff like that, but especially with the flashbacks and Bruce's origin. Then it was also the only animated Batman film to be released theatrically until The Killing Joke in 2016.
The Killing Joke was released oh fuck it was.
It was.
Oh
I
it
almost watched it in
was.
theaters. And
Oh,
then
I
the year
remember it.
after, we got the final animated Batman movie that's ever released in theaters up till today, which is the Lego Batman movie. After this, Batman has been in animation on the big screen, but not a Batman solo film on the big screen animated since Lego Batman. So the only three have been Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Batman the Killing Joke, and the Lego Batman movie are the only
What a
three
lineup.
animated Batman
What
movies.
a lineup. Oh
I
my
know, right?
God.
Then, another thing. So the original idea for the film was to have Batman being captured by his enemies at Arkham Asylum and face a kangaroo court in which the villains try him for making them what they are. The idea's concept, however, was considered too brainy, as it required Batman to be immobile for a long time, which, Jalen, maybe as someone who has watched the entirety of the Batman animated series, you might recognize this plot because it was used later on for an episode called Trial,
Yep,
which aired right
I
after
do
the film's
remember.
release. That was the original plot for this movie.
Wow.
Yeah, but they were
Wow.
scared of there not being enough action because he's still the entire film, basically.
Mhm.
Uh, Phantasm was based on the Green Reaper and the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, which is why Joker makes that comment in the film of her looking like the Ghost from Christmas Future. And the film, the reason it's iconic to this day, was extremely successful in home media. So right after it came out of theaters, even though it didn't break even there, it was so successful at home that it made a profit. So the film is completely fine in its legacy. So Jalen, before we get into more specific thoughts, what are your like overall thoughts on the film? Obviously, you've seen it before. You told your story.
Right.
Rewatching it now, how did that compare to how you felt before? And yeah, what did you feel about watching it?
I think this is the best Batman movie
Mm,
ever,
really?
ever. I think this is the best Batman movie ever. I love Pattinson. I love him. I love him to death. Simba, Simba, Simba. Sorry. So for the podcast, I have, we have three cats, and the cat just jumped behind my TV and behind my PS5. It's fine. He's not hurting anybody. But yeah, no. So I think it kind of encapsulates everything that you want out of a Batman. I think that it encapsulates everything you want out of a Batman. And I think that when it comes to heartbreak, when it comes to the tragedy of Batman and the
Hmm.
tragedy of the tragedy that comes with the mantle, I think that it covers everything perfectly. Also that Bruce Wayne, Batman persona and the differences in their persona is very clear there. And just like the whole Andrea Beaumont stuff. I mean, you were telling me before we launched pod well, or launched this episode that you weren't really. aware of the rom-com angle of this, you
Hmm.
know, and I love how it does defy your expectations. And I think this is probably, other than The Dark Knight Rises, but I think this is the only Batman film that truly explores Batman considering truthfully giving up the mantle for love,
Yeah.
and giving up his fight for vengeance, for love. But what we come to later realize is that vengeance can't love vengeance, and Andrea Beaumont is vengeance, in female form, and Bruce is vengeance in male form. And at first they work because they both brought it, calmed each other
Hmm.
down. But ultimately spoiler alert, whatever, but they don't end up working, right? So yeah, I think across the board, this film does everything that I think a great Batman film deserves, or needs to do to be a great Batman film. But yeah, so what about you? What were your
I
thoughts on it?
mean, for the first time, I told you this before we started recording. It was so weird because I've always known who the Phantasm was. It's too big of a story for you not to know. If you're someone who doesn't know and watches this film for the first time not knowing, damn, I wish I had been you. But I think it speaks to the quality of the writing and the quality of the story. Then knowing who it was did not affect me at all. I remember there was one moment, it was a short moment, where I even doubted if Andrea was the Phantasm or if she was the only Phantasm. That's how good the
Really?
mystery is done in here. Because
Oh
there was
shoot!
just 1 second I was like, wait, is it two Phantasms? Like I never doubted if she was one, but I was like, is there another Phantasm? So like that's how good the mystery is. I got so deep into it that I just forgot this fact that I know that she is the only and the one and only Phantasm. So again, that just speaks so much to the quality of this film. And it's so interesting because it feels cinematic enough for me to call it its own film and that be it. But it also doesn't lose the energy of Batman the Animated Series. Like it
Right.
still feels like a much more cinematic extended episode. Like this could have been a two-parter in the series. And I would have loved it, you know? But I'm
Mhm.
glad they didn't do that. They could have easily done that. I mean, look, the episode trial that we talked about, that was the original plot for this movie. Became a very iconic episode. This could have been an iconic two-parter, like there are many in Batman the Animated Series and the DCAU overall. But I'm glad they had the vision of knowing this is a cinematic enough story and a unique enough story that it deserves the full runtime of film. And the fact that then Warner Brothers realized it also deserved to go to theaters, which
Exactly.
that's not the Warner Brothers we're dealing with today. But
Absolutely, but not.
um, well, hey, I say that, but hey, look at their Oscars run, bro. Both one battle and sinners are theirs. Now, when they get
That's
Bell by
true.
Paramount, we're not gonna be having that comment anymore. But
Ugh, darn.
um, let's not get into that topic. We're talking about a good film, but um, but again, it's so interesting knowing this was home to video and then it was released in theaters, and I think it really deserved it. And I think one of the main things that you mentioned that really made it deserve it is the rom com angle, which I when I was reading facts about this film, that hadn't been done and hasn't really been done since. Like it's touched upon. Obviously, in 1989, you got Vicky Vale.
Mhm.
I don't remember. There was another other that I'm thinking about in Val Kilmer's film that I can't remember the name of right now. But like Batman has had love interests in films before, but other than Rachel, that doesn't even go as deep as a rom com as this does. It's like this movie is a rom com in many aspects of it. It's a very tragic rom com in many parts, yet it doesn't take away from the fact that it's a Batman film. Like it integrates it so perfectly. What are your thoughts on that, Jalen?
I think it was the perfect scene to encapsulate my thoughts in all of this is when Bruce is watching Andrea and that character's name I can't really remember have dinner, And like the
Arthur.
water is streaming,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and the water is streaming down his face.
Yeah.
And the way that it's animated so beautifully and so tragically is that with the way that the water is falling, you can't tell if it's tears or if it's the rain.
Hmm.
And it perfectly blends in. And I think that encapsulates my feelings. And I think the beauty of the tragedy of the love that is displayed through Andrea and through Bruce in this entire relationship. I mean, even the grave scene where he's literally pleading, like he is
Hmm.
pleading to his parents to just give it up and to just let him live, let him be happy. Like let like I never and I'm getting chills, but he said the one thing I didn't account for is being happy. That is the one thing I didn't account for when it came to this and when it came to meeting Andrea. So
Hmm.
and and then for her to show up and say maybe I'm here because they're telling you to give it up and to live your life. Even though behind the scenes she's not even living her life. She can't let go of her vengeance and her trauma. You
Yeah.
know, God, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Like I wish and I hope that one day someone who decides to take on a Batman story, whether it be in Reeves' universe or whether it be through the DCU, we do get a we do give Bruce a true love interest to the point where it allows him to be soft, where it allows him to be vulnerable, and you feel that tragedy that comes with wearing this mask. And the
Hmm.
beautiful thing about it is when we get later into the DCAU Batman Beyond era, all of this shit he's gonna regret. And you see how all of this, Andrea especially, Andrea is for him his biggest regret when it comes to love.
Hmm.
And you will see how this the events of this film, how the stuff that we got coming up in season 2 and in Sub-Zero and in the new Batman adventures, how that all leads to this grizzled version of him that you see in Batman Beyond. And that is why I love this universe so much. Because through that episodic nature and obviously through adding in films for each of the series, it does have that poignant character journey for Bruce that I hope that the live action films in the DCU or the epic crime saga take from.
Yeah. No, man, I completely agree. And I'm not gonna lie, I forgot the point I was gonna make. I got so into what you were saying that I just completely forgot the point I was gonna make. But you know, it's it's so interesting. Oh, I remember. So, I agree with you. I think it's weird that it hasn't happened really before, since where there's this love interest that really connects with Bruce in such a level. Like I would never have imagined that there was a scene in this movie where he literally almost fully quits Batman. Like that was so shocking to me. The fact that he proposed, which he did in the most Bruce way possible, which I loved, and then
Mhm.
for him to want to quit and like fighting the guilt of quitting, like he's disappointing his parents, but still wanting to find that happiness, so interesting. And honestly, Batman has an iconic love interest, and that is Selena Kyle, obviously Catwoman. But the interesting part of the part that makes Andrea interesting to me is that Selena is more of a love interest for Batman, while Andrea is a love interest for Bruce. And Batman never really has that. You get what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Batman and
yeah, yeah.
Catwoman connect, and then Bruce and Selena connect. Like it starts with Batman. Andrea and Bruce connect, and then later on, their vengeance connects them as Batman and the Phantasm, and even just Andreas overall. And it's so interesting because like Spider-Man, obviously, in Marvel, has MJ and Gwen Stacy that connect with him as Peter Parker. But then he also has Black Cat, a character that's pretty much like Marvel's version of Catwoman, a lot of differences, but still, for this analogy, who connects with him as Spider-Man. And I find it so interesting that Batman has not really had an MJ until Andrea. Like Andrea is like his MJ Gwen Stacy character. Uh,
Mhm.
while Catwoman is his Black Cat. And to finally see that done, I think was so interesting, especially being integrated into the flashback scenes. Because we've had comics and many other projects do flashbacks to the earliest of Batman. I mean, currently the Batman is supposed to be his second year as Batman. We have Batman Kate Crusader. She's also very early in his career right now. Many comics have done this as well. Batman Year One, Batman Year Two. But like seeing those scenes of like when he has the baklava like covering his face and he realizes he needs fear, the fear to come in before he starts fighting. The scene where he just goes and tries to take on this biker gang just because he sees something wrong happening. Struggling again with the fact that he's still not 100% there to be able to be what he needs to be when he becomes Batman. I feel like the flashbacks were so perfectly placed, and they were not short. Like the flashbacks were like really substantial parts of this film, and they're like very well used, and they encompass so much of what Bruce is feeling in the moment. And with Andrea, um, like I was so impressed when they did that. And it all leads to
Yeah.
probably one of my favorite moments of the film is when Bruce is escaping the police, which we've seen many times before in other projects. But when he
Mhm.
takes off the cape and cowl and is running through the streets unmasked, bleeding, just for Andrea to then find him and come get him. Like I love that moment because it's so rare that we see him through the streets unmasked in his suit. So
Yeah,
like that was such a good moment to me. Such a good visual moment. Which I
I
that
agree.
brings me to ask you, what are like some like standout moments or like characters in this? Actually, before we get into that, I never covered who the cast of this movie is. So sorry, Josh, this is your fault for not being here. So I will cover this real quick, and then I do want to start figure that question. Okay, I do want to hear what your like standout moments or characters are. For the characters
Okay.
of this film, obviously, are Kevin Conroy as Bruce Wayne Batman, Mark Hamill as the Joker, Dana Delaney as Andrea Andy Beaumont, also Phantasm, Hart Bachner as City Councilman Arthur Reeves, Stacy
Mhm.
Keach as Carl Beaumont and the Phantasm. So Ephraim Simbales Jr. as Alfred Pennyworth, Abe Vigoda as Salvatore the Weezer Balestra, Dick Miller as Charles Chuckle Soul, John P. Ryan as Boss Brunke, Bob Hastings as Commissioner Jim Gordon, and Robert Constanzo as Detective Harvey Bullock. So, uh, iconic cast, a lot of them, most of them returning from the Batman the Animated Series. But, Jalen, so now having heard the cast and obviously what I talked about, what are your like standout moments and characters from this movie?
I'm gonna be completely honest. The one standout. I mean, there are so many. Obviously, the
Mhm,
the scene where Bruce is watching them, the scene where Bruce is escaping the police. Most of the Joker moments in this as well are pretty poignant. The final confrontation with the Phantasm is a big
mhm,
one. The suit up, the suit up in the silhouette, like his first time putting on the suit. That was a big moment for me. But I know I kind of went into it earlier, but it has to be that grave moment. It
mhm,
it has to be that grave moment. Like that grave moment is um awards worthy on its own,
yeah.
and I was actually reading somewhere before the episode that the voice director and Andrea Romano, who I think worked on all of the DCAU stuff, if I'm not
Mhm,
mistaken, but the performance by Kevin Conroy was so good and was so real. It was coming from a place of such hurt and pain and desire that it had her bawling in the recording booth. And it's like to hear this man who hides all of his vulnerability behind his pain, behind his vengeance, behind his his need for revenge, then to
mhm,
just let all of that out in the rain to his parents, the people who the you know, because in a way you could look at it as he feels like the love that he has with Andrea is dishonoring his parents' legacy because he
mhm.
feels like he has to choose between love and legacy. And it's God, it was such a good moment. And that for me is the moment that had me like full body chills, every ounce of my body, nipple chills. You know what I mean? Every ounce of my body
Yeah.
had chills, and it was just such a good moment. So I mean, definitely, I think every character was good. Obviously, Andrea was good. You know, the guy who played Austin Reeves was good. Alfred is always great, and you know everybody else was good. But the standout performance is Kevin Conroy, like without a doubt.
Yeah.
It is one of the most powerful Batman and Bruce Wayne performances I've ever seen in my life. So what about for you? What's your standout moment character? You
I
know,
mean, I'll start with
maybe
Carrie.
even line. You know, I
Oh,
said maybe even line.
that's hard. I mean, I really, really love in terms of character. I mean, I have to agree on Conroy, man. It's just you can tell he hit his stride with Batman. You know, he had the first season, and he's already incredible from the jump. But you can tell how he's evolved. Like his Bruce has, like you can tell from the start he figured out Batman. Like the Batman voice has been unlocked from the start, no problem. But here is when you really feel the fact that Bruce is a completely separate person, and you also he truly embodies that fact of Bruce being a mask, while at the same time being challenged by the fact that no, Bruce is a real person, and Andrea knew this person. Andrea brings this person out of him. Like it makes it no longer a mask. It switches the role. And I think that's why this film works so well, is because the fact that Batman is a real person and Bruce is the mask is such an established fact that when someone comes in and switches that around, that's how why the rom-com works. Because it truly shows you, no, Bruce Wayne is a real person. He's just been lost for so long. He hasn't had a reason to be Bruce more than Batman. Um,
Right.
and I think that's the beauty of having Andrea. In terms of moment, I mean, uh, it's hard to choose anything better than that graveyard scene. But I will go
Graveyard Scene
with
is incredible.
the final fight. I really love the ingenuity of uh the mini set of Gotham City.
Mhm.
Like the fact that Joker was wearing a hat that was the Empire State Building while looking at Bruce, I found that hilarious. The fact that he then serves the train all the way down while all the planes come at him. Like I obviously it's not the Empire State, but still it looks like it. Um like that was I really liked the ingenuity. And now we know Ant-Man copied Mask of the Phantasm. Exactly.
Oh yes, yeah.
That's what the
Jesus
train
Christ.
immediately made me think of. As soon as I saw the
Jesus
train, I
Christ.
was like, "Oh, it's like Thomas the Tank Engine, man."
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but like that was such a great moment. Another one is like the introduction to the Phantasm. Like I thought that was
Mhm.
such a strong introduction to the character. Very like immediate introduction, which surprised me. Like there's no like there's this random person that's going like immediately right after a Batman fight. You meet her as she's stalking one of the mob leaders, and it's such a cool ability that she has with the smoke and like how she like disappears into the smoke, and then when she kills at the cemetery, like that was such a good uh moment when she tricks him into going to the grave and topples the statue onto him in there. Like you're thinking the entire time he's gonna bury him alive, or she's gonna jump in and slice him, and then she
Yeah.
just disappears, and the smoke slowly pushes the statue over. Like I love that you don't see her do it. It's only the statue. And
Hmm.
something that I didn't realize until now when I read the cast list is the same voice actor who plays, and I think this is really smart. The same voice actor who plays her dad is the voice of the Phantasm. It's not her. It is the same actor. And I feel like that works so well with the story because the whole point is she's making people think it's her father as the
Uh-huh.
Phantasm. So to have him do the voice of the Phantasm as well, it was different enough that it never like ever threw me off of a voice, but I like that detail of if we can't have her doing the voice, because the whole point is it's supposed to be you're supposed to think it's a male character, but let's have her maybe use a version of her dad's voice as the one that stalks her prey. Um, but in terms of the phantasm aspect of Andrea, because we talked about Andrea and Bruce, but Phantasm and Batman, like what do you think of the Phantasm as a villain in this film?
Very good. I mean, kind of like how you said, where even though you knew about the Andrea Beaumont twist with, her being the Phantasm, there was still a part of you that was like, okay, could it be her? Maybe I'm remembering wrong, or maybe there's two, or all that other stuff. I remember as a kid, I was in disbelief that it was Andrea.
Hmm.
Like I was in so much disbelief that it was Andrea because I fully expected it to be her father. Especially with like how you said, it's so smart that to have Carl's voice actor playing the actual Phantasm persona. And I remember when it's revealed, I was like, "There's no way. There is no way. I've just been bamboozled." Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, I feel like the Phantasm aspect of all of this is really good because it gives Batman a more direct enemy. You know what I mean? Because his main
Hmm.
thing is vengeance. It gives Batman another villain whose main purpose was vengeance. This is before Azrael and all that. Before
Yeah.
the Nightfall, Batman Nightfall. This is. I think a couple years before that
Yeah.
story was a thing. So up until this point, Batman had only had villains with like mental health issues, or like mutated villains like Man Bat, and Killer Croc, and all these other characters. So to have someone who's kind of on his level thematically was really, really good.
No, I completely agree, man. And something that will add, like talking about villains, is the fact that Joker's obviously in this film. The iconic Mark Hamill Joker is in this. And something I was reading is that there's a discussion. Some of the writers have come out and said that there was a time where they did not want to include Joker. I think it was Paul Dini that came out and said, no, he was always supposed to be in it. The issue was not including him. The issue was how do we include him without making him the main focus? Because they made
Mm-hmm.
sure their main goal always was after they didn't do the trial story, once they moved away from that, was using a villain that was not an iconic member of the Rogues Gallery, and then that's why they decided to do an original villain for the film. But like, I mean, even like the Arthur character, like that would have been a Harvey Dent, but obviously Two Face happened, so you can't do that.
Yeah.
But like even that character still, like you're not really using an iconic character. Salvatore, when I heard his name, I thought it was Moroni. It's somebody completely different. Like
Salvatore Valestra. I was
exactly.
like, it's like I've never heard of this person before.
That caught me so off guard. But like that's the whole point of this film is that they did not want to lean too heavy on the already existing Rook Gallery. They wanted to be able to do their own story without those limits of the comic book storylines. And I think that was very smart, and that's why we've gotten such a unique story that hasn't been really replicated to this day. But I think what I love about the Joker's inclusion is he is not there as a kind of backup. He is there to very much build out the mystery of the Phantasm and really like flesh out and complete Andrea's story. And it's so interesting because it reminded me so much of Under the Red Hood
Elaborate
because of
more on
the
that.
well, obviously, for those who have seen Under the Red Hood, if you haven't, bit of spoilers. I'll try not to go too in detail. Um, Obviously, Joker does what we all know he does to Jason Todd. At the end of the film, Jason is not mad, but he even says to Bruce, I'm not mad that you didn't save me. I know you tried. I'm just mad you didn't kill him. And he brings out Joker. And the whole point is getting his vengeance on Joker in that moment and being so mad with Bruce that he didn't kill him for what he did to him. And I like that parallel to Andrea, where in Andrea, she does not blame Bruce for anything that happened. I mean, she's just devastated for what like the Joker and those gang members did to her and Bruce, to both of them,
Hmm.
and she blames Bruce for none of it. she's mad that he's intervening the same way that Jason kind of was at that moment, but for very complete different reasons. But when that moment came up of her holding Joker as the place was exploding and she disappears, it reminded me so much of Under the Red Hood in that moment of on the Joker. And I think it shows how integral the Joker truly is. But unlike Under the Red Hood, where Joker basically becomes the main villain of the film, even right next to Red Hood, here I love the way they integrate the his elusive origin. Like the point that we don't really ever really know his origin. And show this is the first time in the show, I think, up till now, that they've shown Joker pre becoming the Mad Clown Prince of Crime and having him be one of those gang members going after Arthur. The way he gets to Arthur is crazy. The councilman when he makes him with the laughing toxin. Um,
Yep.
and just having him be that final member of the gang, like I did not see that coming. Like I really was scared for a sec. I was like, why is Joker here other than to just like fill out runtime? And then they show the picture, and I love how Bruce just draws the smile, and he's like, "Holy Like I've punched that face a million times. I know that."
Yeah.
uh, so I just thought that was really well done. And for all their worries of how to include Joker, I think they just like everything in this one, they were geniuses about how they did it. But Jalen, for you, like, what are your thoughts on that? On the fact that they wanted to do an original villain, the fact that they still included Joker the way they did, and do you think there were like any other like characters or villains that could have fit into the story as well?
Honestly, no, I think it was perfect the way that it was. I mean, I
Hmm.
think I think obviously with including Joker, you do kind of teeter that line of this guy is so grandiose of a villain. He could easily be um it could easily overtake the narrative, because of how grandiose of a villain he is and because of how well known he is, right? But to have this mainly focused on Phantasm, the Joker, and obviously the gang mafia culture in
Hmm.
Gotham, I think that was a perfect meshing because it really does remind you of Under the Red Hood now that you actually mention it. Um, so overall, man, I mean, I think it was a good balance, and I don't think I could have imagined anyone else, any other villains appearing in this movie, or even any other villains replacing what Joker's character did.
Hmm.
What purpose he served in this. I don't think I can really imagine any other villain in that spot. So, like, what about you?
Yeah, there's nobody else. Like, I if we had ever done a sequel where Andrea came back, which I would never want to see, because I think I like the idea that the Phantasm never returned. I would like to see Andrea back, maybe someday, but not the Phantasm. Uh, I would again going back to that analogy of Spider-Man and Batman, MJ and Black Cat, right? Or Gwen Stacy and Black Cat, which I think Gwen Stacy fits more with the tragic angle. Like seeing Selena and Andrea in the same project with Batman and Bruce and him having to deal with both of them. I feel like that would have been so interesting if it wasn't for the fact that I love Andrea's ending so much. Like I love it so much, and I really respect the restraint of the fact that it has never been reversed. Like it has never been retconned. Nothing has ever happened really that I know of to kind of diminish that the way that I'm thinking. Like again, Andrea returning is not a problem. It's just the Phantasm returning with her as the Phantasm. Like I feel like that damages that story that ends right where it is. But I don't know. I feel like that would be such an interesting comparison, seeing how those two would interact, their different relationships with Bruce. Again, with Andrea being closer to Bruce, while Catwoman is closer to Batman. Like I found it so interesting. Like, and I think that would have been such an interesting story. But hey, who knows? Maybe in a future adaptation, maybe somebody will do their own version of Master of the Phantasm, and they can then do that there. Uh,
Mhm.
which talking about that, before we go into our final thoughts, obviously the Batman Part Two is coming next
Yes.
year. We're all very excited for that. With the Batman Part Two, I remember early on there were rumors, not rumors, more theories based on the casting that was happening. that the film would be very much inspired by both The Long Halloween and The Mask of the Phantasm. And like I wonder, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Jalen, if this film truly is a combination of both, what aspects of The Mask of the Phantasm would you want them to bring into the film, and what would you want them not to repeat? Like, what do you think it wouldn't be able to do as
Great,
well or better than the original?
great question. That is a phenomenal question. I think the part that I would for sure want them to bring is giving Bruce that question, should I give this up? Should I continue? Because in
Hmm.
the Batman Part One, you do kind of he is still headstrong on his mission. You know what I mean? There is nothing that's deterring him at all. You know, he still hasn't formed the dual personas yet. You know, Batman and Bruce Wayne are one and the same, clearly and evidently,
Yeah.
right? And for good reason. This is only year two. You know, so he's still stuck deep in that vengeance space. Now I do want there to be more of a moment for him in parts two, where obviously those personas are more formed. Two, I also think from taking from Master of the Phantasm's book, where it's like he maybe has a love in his life, or maybe a person who he's interested in, or what have you. Maybe Selena comes back. You know, maybe Selena comes back in some way, in some form,
Hmm.
and that might for him put him in a position to where he's like, man, do I really need this? It's been 4 years, 3 years, however long it's been since part one, which I mean I'm pretty sure they said it's supposed to take place right after Penguin, so maybe not even a year, you know, or maybe a year.
Hmm.
So now it's been like 3 years since he's been, you know, that he's been on this journey, and you know the city is destroyed has been destroyed and flooded. Gang and mafia culture in Gotham is still strong as ever. So truly give him a bit more of that internal struggle. Maybe it's due to romance, maybe it's just um, due to other factors. But yeah, give him more of that internal struggle that they gave him in this film.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. I think the flashback aspect of this film, I think, would work great with Pattinson. Not even having to do flashbacks, but just having an Andrea or a character like Andrea be part of Bruce's life before we see him in the Batman Part One, I think would be so interesting because, like you said, in Batman Part One, he is so dedicated. Like he's 100% Batman. In the second film, my biggest hope is, and I think they're doing. I think even Matt Reeves said they're doing this. Is him developing the Bruce Wayne persona again. Um, and I would love it is if either in this film or honestly, I would maybe keep it for a third. Is him returning to that as he returns to that Bruce Wayne persona and redevelops it, remembering a love from his past before he went all Batman, explaining why he just completely left everything behind and went all in on Batman. I think Andrea type character to then that who would then return in the Batman Part Two or Part Three would be such an interesting way to explore that, especially combining that with well, Halloween and other stories that obviously take from and Matt Reeves' ideas, who is a genius when it comes to this. So yeah, that would be my hope if we can get it, but we'll see next year. I mean, we'll get that next year, so I'm excited to see that. But so, any final thoughts, Jalen, before we go on to our news and segments?
I am so freaking excited for us on the pod, for Josh, for Jackson, for you, for me, for all of us to dive deeper into the DCAU. I believe I have to look up the order, but I think next should either be season two or Sub Zero. I forget which one comes first.
Season two, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. I believe so too. So diving back into season two and then diving into Sub Zero and then going on to Superman, you know, before we come back to Batman for a few more seasons. You know, that I'm so excited for all of us to go on this journey together. And I'm so happy that so far it is like kind of living up to expectations. Um,
Hmm.
you know, and once again, favorite Batman movie of all time, favorite universe of all time. This in the MCU shaped my love for storytelling. shaped my love for superheroes. Um, so to know that we're diving into all of these on the podcast, it's been special. It's been a truly special experience watching season one, and now watching this and then going back into season two in like a month, maybe 2 months, but we'll see.
Give us a bit more.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
see.
about to
We'll
say.
see.
Yeah, about to say, man, it might fuck around and be 3 months.
Knowing us, maybe. But uh but yeah, no, I mean for me, this film definitely lived up. I mean, it's so hard to watch a film that you've been talked to about for so long, that you've heard about for so long, that it has been praised for so long, yet I really enjoyed it. I really loved this film. I will definitely come back to it, just like I will with Batman Animated Series Season 1 with some of my favorite episodes. And, I've always really respected Conroy for his Batman. I mean, even as somebody who did not grow up with the animated series, someone who did not watch this film, or with the DCAU overall, I only knew Conroy from Batman Beyond and a little bit the Arkham games. I also did not play a lot of the Arkham games later on in my life. So I've always respected him because, like, even with not knowing much, you know who Conroy is if you're a DC fan. Like, he is still like monumental in terms of shaping who Batman is, even if you're someone who's not super exposed to him. So he was never my favorite, but going back to this has made that respect for him grow so much more. Seeing his evolution in the Batman season one to going to here, like I said, like that cemetery scene and him like going all in on Bruce again. Like he had already figured out Batman in the first season, but now figuring out his Bruce and how he does his own version of Bruce Wayne is truly a joyous thing to see. And I mean, the whole voice cast is incredible in this film, and this film is it fires on all triggers, man. It has no issue. Like maybe if we nitpick here and there, we could find something, but like overall, man, like this film stands the test of time, and not a lot of things do that, especially from
Yeah.
back then. So yeah, like I can't say any more. I could say so many more positive things about this film, but I think we've kind of gone over all of it. I think we both give it thumbs up. So I think we both really enjoyed it. If you guys are interested in Jackson and Josh's thoughts, we'll probably ask them at the start of the next episode. They're both here. I know at least Josh will. We'll definitely ask them, see what they thought, at least quick thoughts. Maybe it'll be a bonus episode. Who knows? We'll see how that plays out. But before we go on to our news, Jalen, we have some blind rankings, and you're the only one person here that can vote. So
Oh
this is
man.
all on you.
Oh man.
And we have three.
We have three blind rankings.
We have three. There's an easy one, and then the other
Oh wow.
two get a bit harder.
Okay. All right. Let's get into it.
So, first up, we have. Yeah, let's start with this one. Batman animated movies.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Ready? This is
I
the
think
easy
I,
one. I'm starting
yeah,
you
but
off
see,
easy.
I think I got this one.
All right, number one, Son of Batman.
Son of Batman.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go four. Because while I do not like that movie, Killing Joke still exists. There are a few other Batman movies that Batman Bad Blood still exists. I fucking hate Batman Bad Blood. Good God.
Mhm.
Batman Hush still exists. So I'm
Yep.
going at four. I'm going at four.
Okay. Next up, Batman Return of the Joker.
Damn. Should I? Oh, because like my thing is, what if I put it at two, thinking that you're gonna put this one at like, thinking that you're gonna have this one on the list and I put it at one. But could I live with having Return of the Joker at one? And then if you do have this one on the list, putting it at two. I think I can live with that. One.
One. Okay.
It's a
So
it's a
you've taken
really
up
great movie. It is a really, really, really good movie.
Batman Sub-Zero. Three? All right, so
Three.
one, three, and four.
Yes.
Okay. Batman Hush.
Five. See, five, five, five. We're
You
staying
read me,
right
you
there.
motherfucker. You
We're
read
staying
me.
right there.
Except for the fact that the next one's the Batman the Killing Joke.
Fuck.
I was really hoping you would make Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, I was really hoping you would make
Yeah.
Killing Joke number two. But so your ranking, official ranking, no
Oh,
changes, is number one, Batman Return of the Joker. Number two, Batman the Killing Joke. Number three, Batman Sub-Zero. Number four, Son of Batman. And number five, Batman Hush.
I can't live with that. I can't live with that, bro. Killing Joke, anything higher than four is criminal. It is fucking criminal, dude. Oh my God. Move on to the next one. What's the next one?
So the next one is just DC animated movies overall.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It's not just specifically Batman movies. All right, ready?
Mhm.
The Lego Batman movie.
This is a really good one. I'm gonna go three. Right there in the middle.
Three? Okay.
Yep.
So number three. Next up, Batman Ninja versus Yakuza League.
Four.
Four. Okay.
Four.
Next one, Batman Max of the Phantasm.
Numero uno.
Oh no,
Numero uno.
that's where it was. It was in the overall. It was not in the.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. DC League of Super Pets.
I feel like you're gonna fuck me on this last one. Like, I don't trust you. I don't trust
You know,
you at
I can also
all.
repeat movies between categories. That might be a joke, or it might be Return of the Joker. You don't know.
Okay. Ah, do I
I'm just
take this
saying.
gamble? Do
This
I
is not
take this
Josh doing
gamble?
this. I get to do whatever I want.
Do I take this gamble? Screw it. Five.
Five.
Yeah.
Okay. So you still have, so you have number five, League of Super Pets. Number four, Batman Ninja vs. Yakuza League. Number three, the Lego Batman movie. Your number one is Max of the Phantasm. So at least you locked in that one, number one. And
Yeah.
your number two, Jalen, is Green Lantern Beware My Power.
Yeah. Oh my.
So your official list, this is Jalen's official ranking of DC animated movies. It's Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Green Lantern Beware My Power, the Lego Batman movie, Batman Ninja vs. Yakuza League, and DC League of Super. You did not expect me to bring out Green Lantern, huh?
Oh, but I should have known. I'm the Green Lantern guy, right?
Yeah, that
Jesus,
ring made
man.
me think of it. I was like, oh, let me put a Green Lantern movie, Beware My Power.
All
All
right,
right,
what's the third? What's the third one?
we got one more ranking. And this one is 90s movies that are either based on a comic book or have been turned into a comic book after its release. So one way or
That's fine.
another, it's had some form of comic. Okay?
Right. Yep.
So we will start you off with, just because I want to see where you'll place it, The Mask. Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Sorry. Middle.
Right?
Middle two.
All right, good spot.
Yeah.
I would put it higher just because I love Jim Carrey, but that's a good spot
Mhm.
for that. I can't, right. All right, three. Um, Star Wars Episode One: The Phantom Menace.
Is there worse up here? Is there worse up here? Is there worse up here? Is there a worst up here? Because screw Jar Jar Binks. I'm going four. I'm going four.
Okay. Four.
I think there's worse up here.
Mm-mm. Blade.
Oh, one,
One.
one,
Okay.
one,
Men in Black.
two. I fuck,
Two.
yeah. I
Okay,
I
so
rock with Men in Black Heavy.
your number one is Blade. Your
Mhm,
number two is Men in Black.
mhm,
Number three is The Mask. Your number
mhm.
four is The Phantom Menace. And your number
Instead
five
of
is
laughing,
Batman Returns.
what? Not at five.
Horrible ranking, but that's the best ranking
Not,
you've made.
yeah, not at five. The highest that would go would be three. I think I still rock with Men in Black and Blade a whole lot more.
Oh
And
yeah.
I might rock with the Mask a lot more either. So I may in a perfect world would just switch Phantom Menace and Returns.
I actually think it's a good list. I actually don't mind a list. Like
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
make that switch.
I don't mind.
I would
Yeah,
switch
let's
those
say
two, but I still like it.
totally don't mind. Totally don't mind.
Oh yeah. But just so everybody knows, Jalen's number two, second favorite animated movie of all time is Green Lantern: Beware My Power.
No, it's not.
Um, his number two favorite animated Batman movie is The Killing Joke. Nobody forget that, please. Um, thank you. Actually,
And it was
didn't you put that at
it
number
was
one? No, what did you put at number one? Hush or Killing Joke? I don't
number
remember.
one.
Oh, you put Return
No,
of
I
the
put
Joker. You saved it. You saved it. Yeah, you
yeah,
saved Return of the
yeah, but I
Joker.
say
Okay, yeah.
all all of
Still
my
your number
number
two is
ones
Killing Joke though.
all of my number ones have been great number ones. My number twos
That's
I can't
true.
really
I'll give you that. You saved your number
speak of.
ones. All right. Well, now that we've done that, after once Josh sees this, he's not gonna let me do line rankings again. He's just never gonna let me host again. But I'm enjoying my time. So we got a bit of news for the week. It's a pretty light news week. Honestly, we can start off with this. It's not really DC news, but we can discuss it real quick. The Oscars happened this
Yes,
past
it did.
Sunday.
Yes, it
Very
did.
big night for especially Sinners, one battle after another, and Frankenstein, I would say, was the other big winner, as well as Sentimental Valley walked away with international feature. If you're wondering what all the awards was, Frankenstein was basically a craft sweep. Like it took basically every single craft award. VFX, I mean, we all knew that was the Avatar award. We're not surprised. Uh, F1 took Best Sound again, award winner, F1. And then one battle after another took Best Picture, Best Director for Time of Sentence after 14 nominations, and as well as original, no, adaptive
Adapted.
screen, adaptive screen, best or adaptive screenplay, and I'm
Also
probably
took home
forgetting one more.
supporting actor. Supporting actor.
And supporting actor for Sean Penn, who was not even at the awards ceremony. That's still crazy. But and what's crazy is he was at the others. He was at other awards, not all of them, but he was at some of them, but not at the Oscars.
Appar Apparently he was in Ukraine.
Really?
I think he's been trying to help out with the war efforts, which I'm gonna be honest, I thought that Sean Penn wasn't really a great guy. So when I
That's
heard that,
interesting if that's
I
true.
didn't really, but if it's true, it's cool, I guess.
I guess we'll
But
see.
Loki,
But
my boy Delroy Lindo was pissed. Like, bro didn't even
you can
clap. He was
tell.
just like,
I mean, in my opinion, it should have been Delroy Stone. It should have been either of them. But hey, it's okay. But Sinners still walked away a winner. Best original score, third win for Ludwig Göransson, which also makes him have more Oscars than Hans Zimmer. He has now been Hans Zimmer for the most, not for the most overall, just more Oscars than him. He is at three right now. John Williams is only at five, so he's actually catching up to John Williams on Oscars.
I'm gonna
The
be honest,
top,
after the Odyssey and after Black Panther 3, he might have it.
and
He
after
might
Mandalorian
have
and
it.
Grogu, like
Wait,
Um,
is Ludwig actually scoring Mandalorian?
yes, he did the show and he's doing the movie.
What?
Yeah, because he did the
Well,
show.
what? Okay.
He created the iconic Mandalorian theme from the first season. He created it.
Hey man, at least at least at least he'll have the Odyssey. The Mandalorian and Grogu
It'll be very tight
won't be his.
competition. But
Yeah.
there was also, and I'm actually gonna look up her name because I want to be able to say it. So Sinners also won Best Cinematography, which was given to the first woman to ever win the award, which is absolutely huge. And here we go. I want to say her name. Oh, and first black cinematographer to also win the award. So she was both. And her name is Autumn Dorald Arkapaw. I probably butchered that,
No, you
but
actually got it right. You
okay, there you go. Well, Autumn, she won she is the first woman and the first person of black descent to win Best Cinematography, which is just huge. I mean, it's huge that she was able to do this. One of the things that I really loved about her speech, she asked all the women in the room to rise as a thank you for them being the people that got her to where she is now, them laying the path. And I think that was such a beautiful. She had one of my favorite speeches just for that moment. And she has been working with Cooler for so long. So it's like
Mhm.
awesome that this is the movie that got it for her. Past that, Sinners also got Best Original Screenplay, which got Ryan Coogler his first Oscar. It's
Yeah.
not at all gonna be his last. We all know this. Um, but it's so great to finally see him up there. I believe he is the first black man to win screenplay. I think.
I think so.
Or
I think
no, or
so.
was that if he had won a different award? Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong thing. I can't remember. Sipo mentioned this. He said he was going to be the first black man to win a certain award, but I don't remember if it was screenplay or if it was a
I think
different
I
one.
I think it was director.
Maybe, I think, yeah, yes,
Yeah,
you're
because
right. It would have been direct. It
no
would have been
black
director,
person.
not
Yeah, I was saying no
screenplay.
black person has ever won director.
Yeah, it would have been director. That's crazy. Spike Lee hasn't won something, but we're not gonna. That's that. Damn, that's actually crazy. But so he took that home, as well as Michael B. Jordan got Best Actor, very well deserved. I mean, obviously we're a comic book place, um, DC, not Marvel, but still, like what happened to his career after Fantastic to the way he has risen back up after that film, because that film like they tore him apart for playing Johnny Storm, then go to doing Creed, Adonis Creed, Killmonger, uh, Smoke and Stag, obviously his previous work, Fruitvale Station, for example, returning in Wakanda Forever. And now in the future, obviously, he has Miami Heat coming up with Austin Butler and many other projects to come. You know, he's gone such a long way, and it's truly incredible that he won that. But yeah, obviously, we're not an Oscars place, but we had to talk about it. It was
We have
historical
to. It's
stuff.
the
We
biggest thing
have
in
to.
media, and seeing as
So,
we are a media channel,
oh yeah,
it is important to touch on it. The biggest media event of the year.
exactly. So yeah, and next year's host is Mr. Beast. I really hope that's a joke. I
I hope it's a joke.
really the fact that it's gonna be exclusive to to YouTube in 2029 really scares me. So, all right, guys. So I'm excited we enjoyed this Oscars because I'm not watching the next one if it's Mr. Beast. I'm lying. Of course, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna hate it. Um, but so yeah, wanted to touch on that real quick. But now let's actually get into the DC news. So first up, small news. Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight moved up a week. It is now instead of May 29th, it is May 22nd. They also revealed a video. I don't know if you saw this, Jen. I think they sent that into our chat. The classic suits for Batman and Robin from the original Lego Batman, the video game, are now unlockable suits in Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, which is their first time returning since the original game. And they look identical. Like it's crazy.
Wow. Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm excited. I'm so excited for that game. It's a day one. It's a day one purchase.
Well, 100%. And for those of you excited for our future episodes, we're doing soon Lego Batman 2. And obviously, we're going to cover Lego Batman 3 and these supervillains if we can before, maybe not before Legacy of Dark Knight releases, but before we cover it on the channel, we will be doing those games as well. But I'm also, I hope his Batmobile from the original game gets added now that we have the suit. Like, I have
Oh, yeah,
hopes
for sure.
that Batmobile will be there. But yeah, so that's a small piece of news that we could talk about. Um, Before we get into more lanterns discussion, we have a non-lanterns news. That is Booster Gold. So some rumors started coming out that it had lost its head writer. This
Mhm.
came out after he had deleted basically every post that he had announcing the fact that he was part of Booster Gold. And obviously, we haven't heard anything about the show. I will say, breaking news, literally only a couple minutes before we started recording, he actually commented on it and actually said that it is still in the pipeline, and it seems he is still part of the production
Okay.
of
Okay.
Booster Gold. But it's weird because he used vague thing. He just said it was still in the pipeline from what I saw. But so even though we can't really discuss the fact that he's no longer on it, Jalen, I still want to hear your thoughts. Like, why do you think it's taking so long, and when do you think we'll actually see this show? Like, if ever.
I think it's truly all lies in the comedy. I think trying to really figure out how to attack this show
Hmm.
is is probably the hardest part for most showrunners because I think this is what the second or the third showrunner that they've had for this that they've had for this
I
project.
know at least second. I don't remember if it's third, maybe.
Yeah. So, but I guess the like here's the issue with announcing some stuff before you even have the scripts in development. Say what
Mm,
you will about Marvel, but at least they have the scripts in development. And like most of
mm,
the scripts are already done when they announce it. Now, if those scripts get made, that's a whole other story. But they at least have the
mm,
scripts done and in the revision phase. Now, and I'm gonna be honest, their track record is really good. The only two that they or three technically they haven't made are the Inhumans movie, which they turned to the TV series, Armor Wars, and Blade. Those are the only two that
yeah.
I can confidently say the scripts were completed, just not passed through completely.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, for DC, we still have no movement on Swamp Thing. We have some movement on Brave and the Bold. We have no movement on the Authority whatsoever, and it's been 3 years. We have no movement on the Deathstroke and Bane junk. We have no movement on the Teen Titans film. We have no movement on Waller. You know,
Yeah.
and Waller was supposed to probably be the Peacemaker season 1.5. You know, no movement on Paradise
Paradise
Lost.
Lost.
Like I have not heard jack about Paradise Lost. Like absolutely nothing. Um,
Wonder
so
Woman.
yeah. But I say even that too. Like they say they're fast tracking it, but it's been no update. So it's like I get announcing that full 10, projects just to get people excited, but at the same time, at least at least attach people to them. Don't just say these are the concepts we want to bring someone on to help bring the synopsis to life in their own vision. You know, at least have some writers already attached to the project and they're active. Which, for some of those projects they did. I mean, Supergirl already had a writer attached, Superman obviously had a writer attached, Creature Commandos, all that other stuff. But when you look at it against the grander scheme,
Hmm.
you know, stuff like this tends to happen in
Yeah.
that regard. So yeah. But I am excited to see it nonetheless. I hope it's not a shitstorm.
Same here. I mean, this year for DC worries me. Um, this doesn't help the fact that this has still is having issues. I mean, you shared your thoughts on the Lanterns trailer. I was not here last week, but still, and we'll talk about that a bit later. We do have a topic for that. But like Lanterns, I was not. I liked the trailer as a true detective style show. I did not like the trailer as a Green Lantern show. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll delve into that. But like that one, Supergirl. We've talked about it millions of times, especially after having read the comic. Really bothers me what that film looks like, and from what I've heard, and from well, not from what I've heard, from what I've seen of Project Hail Mary in the trailers, it bothers me because that's what the Supergirl movie should look like. It's that colorful, and it bothers me that they're showing it can be done, but we can't do it for the project that needs it. Um, so yeah, Supergirl bothers me so much. I'm really betting on Clayface. I'm like not even betting. I'm just hoping like that trailer is gonna be as beautiful as those behind the scene pics were and videos were. Because if it is, thank fucking God. Because if it's not, this is a really bad second year for the DCU. Obviously, it could be fixed. For all we know, Supergirl is gonna be incredible story wise. For all we know, Lanterns, the VFX is just not finished, and they've been hiding like 50% of the show to us. Like, there could always be a shock right at the end. The problem is, it's not a good thing when that's the only thing I'm hopeful for. I'm not hopeful for the projects. I'm not excited for the projects. I'm excited for them to hopefully be surprising at the end that I'll be happy with them. You know what I mean? Like I'm not excited for the
Yeah,
projects that we're currently seeing. Like what you show me, I'm not excited, sadly.
exactly.
And it's a very weird state to be in, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the kind of crappy part about all this is that Supergirl, I'm not necessarily excited for. I'm being completely real. Lanterns, as much as I am a Green Lantern fan, there is some anxious excitement per se. I'm still not necessarily really excited for that series in the slightest. Um, just based off of that first look, that suit, like, ugh, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like everything else has looked not great, and obviously I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
me myself. I did not like Peacemaker season two, at
Yeah.
all. So, well, I liked it earlier on, but as the episodes kept going on and on, it kept getting lower and lower for me on the totem pole. Um, and now I need this Clayface trailer or whatever to blow me away. I oh, I was just about to reveal the Lanterns news that we're probably going to talk about in a little bit with the Man of Tomorrow stuff, but but I I I I need them to lock in. I need them to lock
Mm-hmm.
in. Right now, I'm not stalled. I'm not stalled, unfortunately.
Yeah.
There's been three projects, trailers for two more. Still not stalled. I need us to lock in something. And
Mm-hmm.
also, I'm excited to dive out of this James Gunn Superman space and enter into more heroes. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I want one more TV series this year. I don't think that, you know, three projects is enough. I'm gonna be real, especially when you're first establishing. I would like at least four, maybe two series, two movies. Um, but I guess if they can't get any scripts right, you know,
Mm-hmm. I
and
guess
then
we'll
like they
see,
keep
man.
announcing, they keep announcing this
Shimmy
animated
Olsen,
thing.
Blue Beetle,
Jimmy Olsen, Blue
Mr.
Beetle, Mr.
Miracle.
Terrific, Mr. Miracle. Like they keep announcing stuff without actually putting any of these scripts into motion. They're announcing concepts. Say
Mm-hmm.
what you will about Marvel, but Marvel announces scripts. So yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. It's we're in a weird state, which is so weird because we were so happy last year. You know, like even with Peacemaker having issues right at the end, like Superman was such a hopeful, even if it's not your favorite film, it's such a hopeful start to the
Yep.
DCU. It made us look at, oh shit, like this is what this could be. Like this is what it's starting at ass off. What is it gonna build into? So it's disappointing that its second year is so mismanaged, I guess is the word. Because I can't call it like horrible yet because we haven't seen the projects, but like it's so mismanaged in terms of what projects are coming out and how they're being handled. Which talking about that, we love talking about the Lantern show here. Before we actually go into the Man of Tomorrow news, Grant Morrison, who is obviously an iconic member of the comic book sphere, he actually had some comments about lanterns that came out, I believe, between yesterday and today, which I wanted to cover. And I'm just going to read out the quote. and then we can discuss what we think about this. So he responds to the fact that Damon Lindelof, which we talked about this not last week, the week before. Damon Lindelof, the showrunner, one of the showrunners or writer, I don't can't fully remember, called the Green and Green Lantern stupid. Like I said when we were talking, part of me thinks it was a joke that was misplaced. Because the way he said it, like part of me is like, that sounds like a person that doesn't know how to do the timing of a joke, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, I know what you
he
mean.
he said it in a way of like, I could see that happening to me of in my head, like, oh, this is gonna be funny, but then you don't say it with the right tone and it comes off as serious, and you have to like re-explain, like, but it's no, no, I mean it's a joke, okay? But the fact that he hasn't said anything is the problem. He hasn't spoken at all since that. And so this is the quote. Why does a writer attach himself to this kind of narrative if he thinks it's fundamentally stupid? The only people who give a fuck about the Lantern TV series are Green Lantern fans. Why alienate them at the start? That feels more like stupid. And then I'm trying. Wait, I think there was one more. I think that's the main quote. That's the main quote that's happening. But that's going around right now. There was another comic book writer that spoke out, but that other comic book writer, from what I saw, not a great person from what he said about Aaron Pierre. That's still I Jackson Wells, our co-host. I was talking to him about the other comic book writer that spoke out, and I was like, "Damn, look at this!" And he goes, "Know what he said as well, right?" And I was like, "Okay, that opinion's out the window." But but for Grant Morrison to come out and say this, I mean, Jalen, I mean, I could talk about this, but Jalen, you are our, much I love Green Lantern, you are our wrestling Green Lantern fan. So, what do you feel about this comment and like what Grant is saying? Go off, King.
The,
Use that ring. Fight off the
the
evil.
lanterns. The, so I went full Green Lantern rant last week. So I've mainly said most of my thoughts, but I'm tired of the Green Lanterns getting disrespected. I
Mm-hmm.
am so tired of the Green Lanterns getting disrespected. It could literally be a space odyssey, amongst itself. You have a character like Sinestro, who in my opinion is my favorite DC supervillain. He's so deep and layered. You have Hal Jordan, Alan Scott, which if you wanted to make an Earthbound Green Lantern story, use Alan. You said that we're going through timelines. Use Alan, the first gay superhero, or not? Well, he wasn't the first gay superhero, but imagine in this universe, he is an openly gay superhero. You know what I mean? Because he is gay in the comics. So it's like, and plus, he actually, fun fact, he never met the Green Lantern Corps. Alan
Yeah, he's
Scott
never part of
never
it.
met. He's never part of the Green Lantern Corps. And the ring also doesn't create a suit for him. He
Mm-hmm.
creates that purple and red and yellow suit,
It's
and
more
he
magic
uses what.
abilities than the Green Lantern for.
Because it is an earlier concept of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Hal Jordan is the first like Earth-based Green Lantern that actually got the chance to meet the Guardians. Um, so when you look at all this stuff, and I mean, I don't know if you caught last week's episode at least, but I said this show should not be a Green Lantern show with this concept, with this premise. It should be a Martian Manhunter show. John Jones, a detective
Yes.
in a small town hunting down white Martians.
Mm-hmm.
That's your concept right there.
You know what's crazy is the fact that it literally seems I would not be surprised if the villains of the show are white Martians. And like
If
if
they
that ends up being the case, that is the dumbest move they could have made.
exactly, if they are white Martians, if they are genuinely white Martians, no,
But I don't know. Like a Martian Manhunter, here's the thing, and this is my Marvel fan coming out. You announced that show, Martian Manhunter on Earth, dealing with white Martians. I would start having tremors and nightmares and PTSD, the Secret Invasion. Um, but here's the thing. How about we do Secret Invasion right? Like that show, the premise of that show was never the issue. The issue was that you took one of the biggest comic book storylines of all time and then you made it into a show that falls apart in its second episode, basically.
Yep.
Um, I will still say I enjoyed the pilot. I enjoyed it when I saw it, and then the
But
show just continuously goes down, down, and
goes
it
to the crash and burns.
never goes back up. Um, but that aside, it's so crazy because that is such a perfect show. And Martian Manhunter is such an integral part of the Justice League. Like if we are building the Justice League, not in Man of Tomorrow, not in the next year, but at some point you have to go to it. We're getting a Superman sequel that is basically a Justice League 0.5 from what we're hearing, which we'll talk about that after this. And then you're doing a Batman movie, if that ever fucking happens, I guess. Okay, Brave and the Bold. You're
Yep.
apparently fast tracking a Wonder Woman movie. Cool. Let's go off the premise that we are. That means we have Batman, Super, and by 2029 at least, we will have Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, and we will have John Stewart, Green Lantern. We have Hawkgirl. All we're missing is Flash and Martian Manhunter. And this would have been the perfect spot to introduce Martian Manhunter. Like,
Yep.
it's
Sure.
the right time. And obviously, at this, and even Devil's Advocate, it's also the perfect time to introduce Green Lantern. So, like, that specific part of the point, like, you can go either side. It's just, I wasn't here last week, so I'm going to rant a little bit. It's the fact that the Lantern's brand was heavily damaged by the Ryan Reynolds movie, and not even the Ryan Reynolds movie on its own. It was the fact that it continuously got made fun of, and the fact that the Deadpool movie, one of the most iconic jokes, is don't make the suit green or animated. That's one of the most iconic jokes in the first Deadpool movie that is remembered to this day. It was the 1-2 punch of that movie being bad and Deadpool making fun of it that kind of destroyed Green Lantern for so long. And what didn't help it? Green Lantern, but where my power didn't help it. Because then you tried to show off John Stewart, even in the DCAMU. I defend the Hal Jordan in those stories, even though he's a bit too jokey. I still defend that. That is my Hal Jordan. Is the one from the DCAMU movies. But bro, the way they disrespect John Stewart in those films, and then they disrespect him again in the Tomorrowverse. Like, can you tell me where John Stewart appears in the DCAMU? Not Tomorrowverse. Do you remember?
Wasn't it the Superman, the death of Superman?
Nope. I think
Was it
he's in, I think he's in the background of like one scene, maybe.
Apocalypse?
Yeah, do you know what he does in Apocalypse War?
Absolutely nothing.
He is on the ground bleeding as Darkseid is destroying Oa, which should be a really cool sequence. He holds up his fist, starts saying the oath, immediately gets burned to a crisp. That's just one scene in the DC AMU. And then you bring him back to the Tomorrowverse to then fast track the Parallax storyline with Hal. I haven't seen this movie. I don't want to. I'll see it eventually for the pod. But I know this. They fast track the Parallax storyline, and then the movie just sucks. And it's like, you are not helping Green Lantern at all. The only good piece of media, of adaptation of Green Lantern that we've had is the Green Lantern film, I think it's First Flight. Uh, First Flight, the Green Lantern animated series, and then was Emerald Knight good? I don't remember.
Emerald Knights is very good.
Yeah.
It is very good.
So like other than that, we have not had it. And the CW, even the CW disrespected John and pisses me off. Like Diggle was built up for so fucking long to become John Stewart. You had a full fucking storyline where he reconnects with his father-in-law, or like sorry, stepfather, and like decides to take on his name, like considers taking on his name Stewart. You have him have the damn ring for so many fucking seasons just for him to throw it in the air and decide not to be Green Lantern. Like, if he had done that like one season in, sure. But the fact that it took like 2 to 3 seasons for him to finally throw that shit into the air will forever piss me off. But that's Arrowverse. But my whole point is the Green Lantern brand is so damaged that I mean, you know this. We've had this discussion. I was a big supporter of doing a true detective style Green Lantern show. I was a big supporter of the idea. And I've defended it here on the pod, I've defended it in our conversations because my dream project has always been Hal Jordan training John Stewart as they are both Green Lanterns. Like a body cop, Green Lantern lethal weapon, like Green Lantern True Detective. Like that type of story being done under the Green Lanterns, I think is such a great idea. The problem is not the idea, it's the execution. It's the fact that this is not. Let's go to this. Captain America the Winter Soldier. We're going back to Marvel real quick. Captain America the Winter Soldier. The first Captain America, beloved, but didn't do as well as they wanted, so they completely switched for the second Cap. Went from a war movie to a political thriller. Even though the film is a pure political spy thriller, it is still a damn Captain America movie. He is still a man at a time. He is still jumping and doing some damn like tricks all over. He is still runs like 80 miles an hour. You have the knife fight. You have him wearing his old suit. The freezing with the Winter Soldier. Like it's still a Marvel comic book story with Captain America being Captain America. And now you give me a Lantern show. And in my head, I'm expecting that split of, yeah, we're doing a True Detective show, Earth based, because we don't want to spend too much money, because we got to be careful because the brand is damaged. Let's build it up first with this so that then we can give it a big budget when we do a movie. Because we don't want to make the movie if we can't give it the big budget that it deserves. The problem is not that you combine it with True Detective. The problem is that the it's ashamed of its source material. Like it feels like it hates the source material. It reminds me of the damn leather suits in X-Men. Thank God, at least X-Men respected the actual stories of the source material. It really respected the personalities of the characters. Thank God. Because if not, and X-Men did it differently. Like that's a good example. X-Men did it differently. They still had the leather suits because they completely disrespected the colorful spandex, but the characters were still the characters. They still had their powers. The villains were incorrect. The only big switch they made was in the comics, they are very much commentary on Magneto is Malcolm X and Professor Xavier is Martin Luther King Jr. In the movies, even though the race part of it is still big, because the director of those films, director and writer, is LGBT, the X-Men much more represent the hate towards the LGBT community. Like that's the twist they kind of do for the X-Men film, but that doesn't eliminate the race element. That still doesn't eliminate that from their story. They are still oppressed and they are still dealing with that in society. I don't know what the hell this show is. How the way Hal Jordan is pisses me off. John Stewart, he looks perfect. Aaron Pierre, perfect. Perfect casting. Best thing this show did. Kyle Chandler, I like him. Cool. I still think he's too old. That still bothers me. But like he doesn't feel like Hal. And okay, maybe he's supposed to be a grizzled like
Grizzled, more like veteran almost.
yes. What the fuck is that suit? Like what the fuck? Like it's supposed to be a come out of the lantern ring. That's the first thing. Second of all, it's not green. They're just fucking shit lanterns. They're not the Green Lanterns. Um, I don't. So weird. I could I could keep going for hours on this, but my main point is I just kept going. Um, is I'm so sad that as someone who defended the idea, let's give him a grounded show, an Earth-based story, a story that'll reintroduce the Green Lanterns in a much lower budget style, so that later on, when it's successful, we can put them on the big screen once again, and we can give them the budget it deserves to be able to do that space odyssey story. And you fucked it up. Like I felt nothing watching that trailer, and it hurt me so much because that was my most anticipated DCU project. as soon as it was announced. So I still have to remain some hope that maybe at some point something will get revealed and we'll be like, oh shit, they were hiding this and they were hiding that. And that's actually like when he first becomes a Green Lantern, he doesn't understand how to summon a suit. So he has like his own flight suit. And like this is his actual suit. Or like John has a better suit, maybe, or like Hal never figured out how to make his own suit or something. Like maybe there's a lot of stuff we don't know about at the end of the day. And maybe the show will be incredible. But for a first impression will forever be what people keep a lot of the times with the show. And this was a horrible first impression. So now that I've ranted for like 10, uh, damn, I haven't ranted like that in this pod ever. Um, yeah. So in other news, in our final bit of news, so we can finish the Lanterns topic, because we've been wanting to talk about. This is actually new stuff we can both talk about. Man of Tomorrow obviously is coming out next year. The rumor is that it'll adapt. I believe it's obviously Salvation will probably be part of it. Salvation run, and there's a character being rumored to be cast. We don't really talk too much rumors here. That is connected to that storyline. But the big news is that Jon Stewart has been officially casted in the film as Green Lantern. Wait, Jon Stewart as Green Lantern. Aaron Pierre has been officially casted as Jon Stewart Green Lantern in the film. Very exciting. Obviously, I think while Guy Gardner is not at all the greatest Green Lantern, I feel like the essence of Guy Gardner was so perfectly done in Man of Tomorrow. The way he uses his constructs, the way he acts is so Guy Gardner that I'm actually really excited for Gunn to write Jon Stewart. But Jalen, I want to hear
Mhm.
your thoughts. With everything happening with Lanterns, with how Superman handled Guy Gardner, what are your thoughts on the fact that Jon Stewart will be in Man of Tomorrow in next year?
We're forming the Justice League, baby. We are forming the Justice League. Like we are
Hmm.
going full-fledged forces of the Justice League. And also, I heard another rumor a while back. I don't know if this is true, if it's been debunked, or that Vixen could be in this movie. Maybe I'm wrong.
I've never.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I don't think. I don't
Uh,
think so. I think that came out when the female character was being rumored for who it
okay,
was,
okay.
and it's pretty
But it's
much
more
been
than likely
confirmed that it's the
it's
character from
Maxima.
Salvation Run. Yeah, Maxima.
Yeah, Maxima. Okay. Well, I'm gonna be honest. First, it makes sense because you have an extra, terrestrial threat that is coming to Earth. You would think that the main Green Lantern would be on that,
Hmm.
um, especially now with Guy Gardner, depending on what happens with him in this series. I will say I do like how we are moving. Like Supergirl and Lanterns leads right into Man of Tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'm sure Clayface will lead right into Brave and the Bold, because I'm sure that's probably the next thing coming out, or that's probably the next movie, or within the next two movies coming out after Man of Tomorrow for the DCU.
Yeah.
Unless they greenlight something else, which they are prone to do.
Sergeant
But if they're
Rock.
already in the yeah, about to say Sergeant Rock or Teen Titans or whatever. But if they're already in the process of writing officially, like, or
Mhm.
revising a Brave and the Bold draft, that'll probably be next up after Man of Tomorrow. Um, but you have to give the DCU his credit. I do like how we're leading somewhere. So I'm excited to see what he does, on a bigger budget, obviously, than the series, and what that dynamic with Superman will be.
Mhm. Dynamic that I'm excited to see is it's pretty much confirmed, and I think it was actually confirmed. Hawkgirl is in Man of Tomorrow, and honestly, in the
Oh,
DCAU,
uh-huh.
they have one of the most, no, not one of, they have the most iconic relationship from the DCAU, which is a lot to say because there's a
Mhm.
lot of iconic relationships in there. Black Widow, Black Canary, and Green Arrow. Uh,
Yep.
the Question and Huntress. You have the the like will they won't they of Batman and Wonder Woman. Like you have so many, obviously the classics, Superman and Lois. Like you have so many in the DCAU. Yet pretty much the most iconic is Green Lantern, John Stewart, and Hawkgirl. So, Jim, like, do you think they'll like touch on that? Do you think they'll start setting that up? And do you think they'll actually even do
I,
it later on?
I definitely think they're gonna touch on it. The age difference between Aaron Pierre and Isabella Merced, I don't know
Hmm.
how that will go. I mean, they're both adults, so it doesn't really matter. But I can totally see them touching on it for sure, and maybe leading because that's something that Isabella Merced said that she wanted to pursue with the character.
Hmm.
So I think it'll happen, or they'll at least tease it at least.
Yeah, it might be more of a flirtation for a bit before anything actually
Yeah,
happens. But yeah, that is it for today. We went on actually a lot longer than I thought we would, but
yeah, two
I'm ha
hours, 2 whole
yes,
hours.
but yeah. So thank you everybody for watching. Make sure to stay tuned. We have a lot more episodes coming soon. I believe we're doing Lego Batman 2 next, if that doesn't get moved. So that will be very exciting. And many other things to come. Obviously, Supergirl's coming out this year. Clayface coming out this year. Lantern's coming out this year. We'll prepare for those. We'll be excited to cover those. And yeah, obviously this might have been a bit of a chaotic, a little bit setup first time without our main host Josh. So please be nice to us. But we should all be back soon. And yeah, thank you for being here, Jalen. Thank you very much.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Thank you for being such a great host.
Appreciate you lying for me. But uh no, but this was a lot of fun, and we will see you all next time. Have a great
See you
night.
guys.